the end and towards back.
That's probably a pretty good start.
The national anthem. Did you know?
Totally surprised. Totally surprised. To see Dad up there, I kind of felt like I tried to keep it together pretty good out there, and throughout it, but the more I kind of think about Dad and see the Marines behind us, and I've not heard his voice in a while. Just an amazing moment to be able to share that with everybody, let all the fans of San Diego know that Dad could sing and could hit a high note, and we're so proud of his country and proud to be able to sing in his boys' sporting events, and so pretty fitting.
Did you see your brother Greg's reaction?
No, I couldn't see through my eyes. Can only imagine. A lot of pride going through all of us today.
You said one person doesn't deserve this. Why?
Humility. No, I just don't think one person deserves all this. It's not, you don't do things for accolades. I mean, we're here to glorify God, and part of, and I don't want to get too religious on you, but in trying to keep things in perspective, that's where our focus needs to be. It's not about how great Trevor Hoffman was, is, can be, because so many people might not know me completely. I mean, they got a really good indication about who I was and how I stand for, and my family around me. But I think that's just trying to keep things in perspective. You know, not to get too high with anything. And that's just, I've been so blessed and so lucky over my career. I just feel uncomfortable with all that kind of attention.
Trevor, as a parent, how special a moment was that for you to be able to talk to your 3 kids out there on the stage? It just felt so heartfelt to listen to you.
You know, I think they enjoy the fact that Dad can talk to them. At times, you don't always get a stage like that. I think that is the one thing that's exciting about that, is it will have an impact. You know, there are things as parents to kids, you want to protect them and you want to guide them their whole life, and to have that opportunity to let them know, and they know how blessed and lucky they are, but to kind of put it in a little nutshell for them, and how proud I am of them. It was just between us 3, us 4 in that moment, and so I didn't think it would, you know, a lot of that was unscripted, but to be able to have that with them, the Dad's dream.
Other than the anthem, what were the major surprises for you? The car?
During the anthem?
Well, no, during the whole sermon.
Oh, gosh.
What did you not expect?
I didn't expect to run out on the field with my family. I thought that it might have been similar to opening day. But to be able to share that moment that I got to enjoy with the fans, to pull them out of that situation, out of the stands, and be a part of it, was kind of giving them a little preview or a post view of what it was like. To see all my teammates come back, to walk down memory lane. Obviously very touching to see my teammates that aren't with us, spouses, former spouses with us. I mean, it was just an amazing roller coaster of emotions today. And it just kept crescendoing. It just kept getting better and better. And it just kind of goes to the fact of one guy doesn't deserve all this. Can't thank the Padre organization enough for the time and effort they put into making something like this a reality. So privileged to be back a part of it.
June 24th, 1993.
On a plane probably to here.
Huh?
On a plane probably to here.
Yeah, that was the day you were traded. What do you remember from that trade from the Marlins to the Padres? That was the expansion Marlins team, and who told you? Where were you?
Mike Wallace is our equipment manager, who's now with the Nationals. Came in and said, "Hoffy, you're moving on, and the manager needs to talk to you." So I got the chance to go in and speak with Renee. as you would think, a rookie doesn't have a lot of possessions at that stage in their career and that stage of my life, and so it wasn't a matter of maybe a box or two getting put together and being told what time your plane leaves, and you're headed to San Diego. And you know, you've seen it go on. You've seen releases of your friends in spring training. You've seen your friends move on to other teams and how it changes their world. To be able to spend 15 and a half years after that moment in one spot and to fall in love with the city and everything that this place is about, it's pretty lucky.
Remember your first days here? When, I mean, your reception was not the greatest when you first got here.
No, but I earned that. I just remember trying to maybe do a little bit too much when I walked in the clubhouse doors. I didn't know what protocol was when you walk into a new clubhouse. I got to Florida, we were all kind of in that together, coming from different places, and similar with Cincinnati. And so as I walked into the clubhouse, I kind of went over and above to try and introduce myself, and I didn't really sell myself right away. I just a little out of character rather than just kind of let things come to you. And those first few games against the Reds and the Cubs were humbling, and it didn't really get much better when we went to Philadelphia. So, yeah, you're right, we got off to kind of a rough start. But like I said out there, they gave me the opportunity to prove my worth, and fans here have appreciated over and above that effort that I put forth. And you guys have all done an unbelievable job of getting that message out to them. You just never want to honk your own horn. It's nice when people talk nice things about you. Appreciate it.
When they unveiled number 51, I mean, I'm sure you prepare yourself for it, but what goes through your head when it comes down and you see it up there?
Well, just before that, to see the other men in our organization that have been honored with their numbers up there, to put that in perspective, to see them as a whole, to know that you're going to be a part of that group, and to have that most unbelievable individual honor an organization can give you. It was crazy, but you know, it's a little bit with a countdown, sort of like New Year's Eve, and it's not over in a second because it just keeps getting better.
But will the kids be more impressed with the AC/DC tribute or the convertible?
I think the car. I think the car. I mean, and like I said, it just kept ramping up, better and better. I mean, it's so that thing is going to look so good driving around town. I was just blown away. I'm in shock. It was a tremendous gift.
Did you have a chance to look at the mileage?
I didn't. I was just trying to get it started.
Trevor, there's been a lot of great players. What was that connection with the fan? What was that bond? What's the genesis of that? How did that come about? Why was it so strong?
I think just mutual respect.
Yeah.
I think a baseball fan is one that appreciates the length of a season. They appreciate the perseverance that it takes to get through 162 games and to get to know you for 30 before that when you're in spring training. And so it's a pace that allows relationships to be built. And you have lifelong friends that you create. And you see them at the ballpark on a daily basis. You get recalled moments when you're around town at the grocery store or at restaurants, and they say, "I was at that game," and it takes you back to that moment. And to think that they were in the stands and that was something important to them that they were able to share with you is just lucky to be a baseball player. Like I said, it took a life of its own and became bigger than me, really. I know that the way the fans here in San Diego adopted to it so quickly, even with a little hiccup on the second time out, it was an event, you know, to stick around and make sure they had a chance to hear it and watch it. You know, I would count the throws down. I'd be ready long before I had to come in most of the time, and I just, God, what's it going to be like tonight to come out? You know, first bell. How could, you know, my foot hits the warning track and that bell goes off. I miss it. You know, I hear it. I never took it for granted, but it's something that it's a once in a lifetime gift. So attention in a way that you don't want to miss it. You know, there's certain guys that have at bats and they would come up to the plate that you don't want to miss, and that was an event in baseball for a long time that people didn't want to miss. Talk about putting pressure on, making sure you get the job done at home too.
Anybody else?
Dave Winfield talked about how it was amazing that you, a closer, are so beloved by some of the greatest hitters of the game. Can you talk about that dynamic?
You know, it's kind of putting a perspective on things that I hadn't really thought about. I think there's always that relationship between pitcher and hitter that you kind of try and keep that barrier up so that you don't give away too much when they step into the batter's box. But I think it goes to appreciating competition, and it doesn't matter whether you know them or not, but to have that type of relationship put in perspective like that, the way Dave eloquently said, I never really thought about it that way. I guarantee you at the time when I may struck somebody out, they weren't too excited about who I was going back to the plate, but I think at the end of the day they had to maybe look across the field and go, you know what, I'll get you next time, and I'm going to work hard to try and get it done, and them to know the same thing's coming back at them.
Thanks, Trevor.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.